Welcome to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. Guess what, guys? It's Thanksgiving. This is our Geico giving show. What I mean now, you have to give a lot up. So when you have to give a lot in, you bring a person that's done that prior. So you bring in a guy that gave 20 years to the Washington football team, 20 years to the NFL, and can still run a 4-3 when he left. He just didn't know I ran 4-2. Bring him to this show. Dare Grieve. What's up, baby?
What's up, man? People don't know, man. You know, we lived on the same street. We used to we talked about running. I know you wasn't really a runner. You talked a lot of noise, but hey, your family, man, it's always great to see you again, man. And early happy Thanksgiving to you.
You too, man. When you start thinking about Thanksgiving, man, give me a good thought you got on your mind, because right now we need good thoughts.
Well, one of the good thoughts, Tony, comes to mind when an old great legend, the legend, the late Bobby Mitchell. We just laid him to rest not a few months ago in 2020. He was the first African-American to play for this Washington Redskins team. And I'm saying Redskins, but that's the team he played for. And he is a legend. He was the Jackie Robinson for us, and we stand on his shoulders. But one of the things you talk about Thanksgiving is, I believe, Tony, it was Matthew Memorial Baptist Church. And I think it was on Martin Luther King Avenue, and I may be wrong on all the names, but I know it was in Southeast. And he taught us the way about bringing food and service and caring for people in DC in the community. That's what kicked a lot of us off. And I think about him. I'm grateful for the life he did live and what the example that he was to all of us. And my heart is out to Gwen and the family right now. But that's what I think about right now. We think about what we can think about in terms of who showed us the way, in terms of obviously our moms and our dads and our family, but I'm talking about us, the family of the former Washington team that we played for, and our community, Washington, D.C. metropolitan. That's what comes to my mind. And I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving with my family. Some folks out there will be familiar that I have a product called Halodine, Halodine. And it's what they call a nasal and oral antiseptic. And so I'm gonna be around my 83-year-old mother-in-law and my wife's siblings and nieces and nephews. And we'll have Halodine because it's like hand sanitizer. When that particle goes in your nostrils and in your mouth, it sits there. It's not gonna make you sick immediately. And then you're able to sanitize it out. And it lasts for 4 hours. Check it out, halodine.com. But that's what's gonna allow me to be with my family during this holiday. Otherwise, I wouldn't be around. And you still wear your PPE, still distance when you can, wash your hands, cover your mouth. But check out Halodine, everybody, Halodine, before Thanksgiving. See if that might be, it will bring you added protection. And so those are my Thanksgiving thoughts for remembering Bobby Mitchell and the one who led us and showed us how to give to our community. And you and I, we're gonna be doing the same thing this time here. We got some food we're gonna be delivering. And then also just the idea of how can we safely be around our family. Halodine is a way that you can add an added layer of protection to be safely around your family.
We got to get information before the end of this show of how they can get it and get involved with it. But when you talk about protection, everybody needs a team, and I got a family at home that I need protection from, but I got a TV protection team as well. We better bring them on in. We got the G Clark. He can freeze the desert in the summertime. We got Donna Hopkins, know every story that's going on. Then we got Uncle Milt. Now, usually, Uncle Milton, you've been knowing each other a while, haven't you? I mean, This is Thanksgiving. Aren't you thankful we got Milt on the show?
I'm thankful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that he's telling the truth now. We got him straight before the show, and he can go on back home to his family.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
He ain't my family.
I told you, Tony, he'd be in denial.
Thanksgiving show, and you know we're going to talk about the Washington football team, which is important now. But what's important, what everybody's going through, and what the world is going through, and right now it seems as though many people was waiting for this one day, waiting for a good day, a good holiday, no politics, no hate. All we want to do is love our family, and then they tell you can't do that. So right now, Daryl Green come on with some ideas you need to listen to. But guys, tell me something about your Thanksgiving. What's your fondest memory? Oh, Donna Hopper, what do you have?
I was waiting on you to check that out.
I wanted to bring this sweet potato pie up because Ricky Irvins presented this to me on Sunday at the game. Hey, Daryl, you all have to know the story because Tony was supposed to be making us some biscuits, and we have not gotten those biscuits yet, homemade, but Ricky came through with this sweet potato pie that I didn't share with anybody at the game. And also, I got to shout out to Tony's mom, who makes the best peach cobblers in the world. And I mean, she made me one. I didn't share with anybody. I ate the whole thing, but I'm most thankful for this holiday, just seeing another birthday that I had on Sunday. And then the fact that, like Daryl said, being together with family over the holidays in the past. But I am so happy, more so, that I was able to give through my foundation, Hopkins Breast Cancer Incorporation. Just this past Saturday, we went up to the Baltimore area. We were down in Virginia, Upper Marlboro, giving out boxes of food that we ended up, teaming up with the Black 14 in bringing some relief to families that are going to be without a lot of things this coming Thanksgiving. So I am just most thankful for being able to reach back out and help somebody else during this Thanksgiving holiday. So that's what, to me, it's about, is helping somebody else win in life.
And you know what? It's not now, with the way things have gone thus far for the last few years, it's not just a holiday. We got to help people each and every day because everybody's in dire need. Everybody been depressed. Everybody been hurt. Everybody been talked about. But it's one man that nobody has the nerve to talk about. I was able to secure him on the show for mega bucks. But I just want to ask him, what does he do for his Thanksgiving? Because he sets the date for all of it. Gee.
You know what, Tony? I'm really thankful that you have made so much money in your life that you could afford to pay Daryl Green to actually be on our show. Because I know what the cost that is, because I can never afford it. Even when I tried to negotiate with Daryl, there was no negotiation. He said that his fee was $100,000 for 60 minutes. And honestly, I did not have that. So I'm glad to see that Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus could afford to pay the $100,000 to have Daryl Green come on the show.
We thought he was talking $100. We didn't know he was talking $100,000.
You see that? You see what's on his chest? Where I have Adidas on my chest, he has Hall of Fame on his chest. So initially, I could afford him before that day, because then it used to be around 25,000, which was doable. I go out and get about 100 people to donate in, so I could afford the 25,000. But now that he's at 100,000, you see what's on his chest. You see Kent. You see Kent in Ohio all on his chest. There we go. I feel like Tony, I need to take my Adidas shirt off and just look like this the whole time for the rest of the show. I'm just going to hold my hand over my.
D, you want to defend yourself on that one, baby?
Let me respond to that. So first of all, I want to say that Tony and Novena, they're like family to me. I was a rookie, Gary, and I lived next 4 or 5 houses down from them. But beside the point that Tony offered me a dog, we got 2 dogs. He gave me the mutt. Other than that, Tony and Novena, they're family, and I love them, and I'll do anything for Tony. And so I donated the money back to Tony, so Tony really could split it with y'all. because I donated money.
And I appreciate it.
When I get to the team,
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling
Hey,
it.
Milt, we're going to have to run over, Milt, but I got to get from you, man. Give me
Yeah,
a
man.
good memory for your Thanksgiving. You got about a minute to do it and hit me.
Yeah, and I'll be quick. And I'm glad you said this earlier. You know, Thanksgiving has become a lifestyle just because of pastoring and going in a lot of different areas that need that kind of help and support. I didn't know specifically that you were going to have Darrell Green on here today, but I will say one of the memories that stands out to me, and it was around the Thanksgiving time, but it was more so the Christmas time. But the emphasis was giving. When I heard two little boys get so, and Darrell, you might remember this, get so enamored, 7, 8 years old, because they had been given a shirt and a pair of blue jeans. That's a game changer for me. So when you start giving and it's your life that you give, and I've seen both of these celebrities, Gary and Darrell, do those kind of things. Bobby Mitchell used to bring me over to that same church you're talking about, Darrell, and just preach a word of encouragement to those who would attend, and we'd give out Thanksgiving baskets and all. So that's what I think about, around this time.
I thank you that. And you know what? He said we got to do something with sacrifice. So what we're going to do is the next segment, instead of talking Thanksgiving, we're going to talk football. That's a sacrifice. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the show. And as you know, we said we'll sacrifice a little bit. Yeah, we're talking about Thanksgiving. Let's go back and talk about the Washington football team. They thought I was going to say something else, but I owe too much money right now. But when you take an opportunity to look at these guys, they are getting better. But at the same time, guys, tell me what you saw in this game to show me that they can win the next game, which we will not say who that opponent will be. But what did you see in this game against Cincinnati that encourages you?
Was it quiet?
Oh, nothing?
I'm going to defer to Donna because I know
Does that mean it was nothing
she's got some nuggets for us.
But that's right, Tony. Milton was right in coming to me first, because this is a game that we finally, for the first time, saw this Washington football team get off to a quick start. This is a game that we saw all phases of this team really contribute, which we had not seen that in past games. I mean, Alex Smith, as I said the week before, has made that offense so much better since he came, and a running game that we had not seen in, I don't know how long, probably all season except one game. It finally got on track. And Tony, a shout out to the defense, because the defense came through big. I mean, in all phases. Coach Rivera talked about the defensive front put the pressure up. The linebacker play was much better, and the secondary, Curl and some of those younger guys really stepped up. But, it's a tragedy that another quarterback went down in Joe Barrows, out for the season with a left knee injury, ACL, and it could be worse. And you hate to see that in a game like that. But overall, for this Washington football team, they really stepped up and played well. They kept their foot on the gas pedal until the 60 minutes of the game.
Well, you know what? I'm like a baseball umpire. I tell it like I see it. What team does Joe play for? The one that got hurt?
Cincinnati.
Okay. That don't sound like Washington to me. Okay.
Well, I just gave you a little.
I told you, Tony.
I just kind of like threw that in that he got hurt, Tony.
You just like Michael, feeling the way he feel about the Ravens. Oh, that's bad Joe got hurt. Wait, you even call him by his first name, Donna. I'm kind of upset.
That's what a good reporter does, Tony.
Oh,
that's
for
what a
goodness
good reporter does.
Well, one thing about Donna's comments, she said she thought it was better linebacker play, and I don't know if I'm all on that wagon just yet. I saw Joe Barrows, the same guy that did get injured. He blew by Davis, who finally got on the field this week. He blew by him like he was standing still. I mean, and that's not a good picture here. But I would say overall, the defense did play much better this week.
Hey,
well,
Milton,
why y'all jumping?
Milton,
we know.
Tony, Milton wasn't watching the same game. He put one play on the linebacker. I talked about for the whole game linebacker play. He talked about one play that the linebackers, somebody blew past. I'm talking about the whole game, Milton.
Donna, you got to give the weight of a homer. It's a homer weight that I just contributed. The homer of this.
Milton been on this show for 10 weeks, and that's the second thing he said when he won the homer. So let's be glad we got that. Hey, G, let me ask you something, G. Malorin, all he needs is a running buddy because he is legit, isn't he?
Yeah, see, he is definitely going to be that go-to receiver. And I quite honestly, I think there's three good receivers on the team. That's without a doubt. But he is the guy. He is the Art Monk version of this Washington football team, where he is the go-to guy, 100%. So, but he does also have a supporting cast of Sims boys that come out. They ball too. I mean, the offense. I said it before. Alex makes a big difference in the offense. Right? I said when he came back and be able to start, you're going to see a significant difference in how the offense performed because he brings leadership as well. But at the end of the day, it's another win. When you put two wins together, let's get two wins together.
Thank you.
Then we can actually have this discussion about how can they move forward, because right now they win the game. You know, they look great when they played Philadelphia in the first game of the year. So this is the second time we actually see them put together a complete game. But let's see if they can put two complete games and then three complete games and then try to make a run for this division championship. I'm not division championship, but yeah, division championship. If I'm gonna go there, I might as well go all the way out.
Yeah,
might as well.
Let's go for the whole division championship. But let's see if they can win their division 100%.
D Green, where do you see improvement in the defensive backs? Everybody been talking about linebackers and defensive backs. Defensive backs weren't as bad as the linebackers, but do you see improvement? Tell me that we have a reason to see them getting the job done.
Well, I'm always somewhat a little more critical of the defensive backs than normal, I would imagine. But I just think that I won't even be critical on these guys. I would just say that, you know, they've got to try to get wins because they've got to get some positive things taking place. They're not going to do anything great this year. This league that they're in, Gary, it may be winnable, but it's still it'll be one and done if you win it. But, you know, I just think at the end of the day, what the coach is doing is trying to impart his culture, and I think that's what he's focusing on. He shouldn't, obviously you should be trying to win a championship, but I'm sitting out here at my house, I'm not playing, so I can speak like this, that they just got to continue to win games and try to move things in a positive way. Everybody get better every day. The quarterback isn't the future. A lot of things isn't what it's going to be, even if it is good this year. Things are going to change anyway. So let's just all individually try to get better and better each week, and then we'll see what happens at the end of it.
Hey, Donna, you take a look at that offensive line, moving Moses over to that left tackle. Do you think that really has helped solidify this line somewhat?
Tony, it has, because this is the guy that played on the opposite side. He's played a little on the left side, but after he played in the game, the previous game against the Giants, and they saw that his production was good, and you know, the offensive line is so beat up and they don't have as much depth there. So him moving over there has resolved some issues on that side. So I think that for the remainder of this year, that's where you're going to see him at, because it's a little more security there. They were able to run the ball a little better with him being over there, and the protection for Alex Smith is so key with having a guy of his caliber over there. So he's actually played well in the last few games.
Well, part two, Milton, of that, yes, he went over there and we knew it was the passing purposes because the best pass rusher is usually your right defensive end. Now, is that why the running game also picked up on Sunday? I mean, they ran significantly better than they have in the last few games.
Just a couple of notes, and I agree. In fact, in my pre-game notes, I put that down as Morgan Moses being one of the bright spots, I thought, on Sunday. Just the good news and bad news about that, though, is that they ran quite a bit on the right side, which David Sharp replaced him. And with the exception of one play, his name was called. I think he had a false start or something like that. But nonetheless, that whole line, for whatever reason, and I thought Moses did a whale of a job for full game, being in that position and being in that position and then not even hearing his name called. So here's a thought I had. Is that a natural spot for him? Maybe could he have been on the wrong side to begin with? And, you know, you're not going to move Trent out, but I'm just saying he handled his business over there. I was encouraged.
Well, you know, it could have been an injury because, you know what, he did have an injury and he was starting to struggle from that right tackle side. Maybe being over there, that doesn't hurt the injury as much. But at the same time, you take a look, G, and one thing we did see on Sunday is offense, defense, and then their special team missed a couple of field goals early. And our special teams, which I'm speaking of the Washington special team, they seem to contribute more on Sunday.
Well, I mean, that was an important part. As we talked about last week, it was important that, you have all segments of the football team playing well together. And that's what happened. When you tend to win a game substantially the way that they did, it's important that you have all three segments playing well, and the special team stepped up and played as well as the offense and defense did.
You know, D, looking at this whole, the beast of the East, they're having problems right now. But can you see any of these teams emerging into being a real difficult out in the playoffs?
Well, I mean, they beat Cincinnati. Cincinnati have a couple of wins. Philadelphia's offensive line, you say they played well, but their line was pretty beat up, and they hadn't proven to do anything anyway. So, you got, beat up the people you can really beat up, and then grow up so you can go and beat up some of the big boys later. It's still an opportunity there. The numbers say it's there, and so I think it would be exciting for us if we could win this conference. Again, I don't think we'll go anywhere from that, but at least it'll be the thing that we stand on in going into next season. So they should be still fired up. I would be encouraged for them to continue to be fired up about the possibilities of the future, and maybe win this division here. But just as a couch potato, even if we win it, I don't think we'll go anywhere, but it sure would be a positive for our future.
Well, you know what, speaking of, Donna, the opponent that they will play next, that's a team that one day they look pretty good. The next day they look pretty bad. This Washington team, to me, can beat this team. Do you not feel the same way? And I'm not saying their name on purpose.
Well, can I say their name?
Yes.
So the Cowboys have gone through some tough times themselves, losing Dak Prescott earlier on when they were playing good, and after that they seemed to fall apart. But it's up for grabs, Tony. This is a team that's up and down. One week they win, one week, and they beat a Minnesota team and came back and beat them because they got their starting quarterback or their backup quarterback back. So that play ended up being better. So I think Daryl hit it on the head. It's not so much what other teams are doing, it's what this Washington football team is going to do moving forward. They've got to be able to put games together. As Gary say, let's get double wins back to back, and then we can talk about where this team goes. So it's not so much the teams that they're playing coming up, because they got some tough ones in the Pittsburgh Steelers after the Cowboys game, but it's what they do as a team that's going to be the telltale in them moving forward and maybe winning the division.
Well, you know what, Milt, and tell me, Milt, did they come out of the game pretty good? And we got about a minute. Tell me if you had any more significant injuries that we have to be concerned with.
I heard of none. I did check that. Donna may have the more up-to-date stats, but I didn't see anybody that was mentioned to miss any time or anything like that. And I think I was just going to say that's been a part of what I think over the last couple of weeks. We're starting to get some people back from injury. Having Sims out there was a big plus. And then as he gets acclimated over the next few weeks or what have you, maybe he'll get a chance to show his wares. But I think we're pretty healthy to meet that team that you don't want to call their name.
All I know, Tony, is a week ago Milton wanted Dustin Hopkins cut.
I knew you were going to bring that up. I knew you were going to bring that up.
I know that he came through. He wasn't the one that was missing field goals. He was the one who was making them from 50 yards. And the fact, even with a growing injury, that he still came. I mean, Hopkins, what can I say?
Tony, just as Daryl said earlier, family is tight. Family is tight. So when Donna goes to his rescue like that, we expect that from Donna. I will say, after having heard from Mark Mosley, the subject matter expert, I backed off of him a little bit. I backed off of Dustin, and then
you heard it. You heard it from Uncle Milty. Family is tight. So during this time out, we'll be talking about when we come back about how you really give, and during this Thanksgiving time, Milt will be kind of convinced Daryl that they're relatives. We'll be back in a minute.
In 1969,
The University of Wyoming's Black 14 football players stood up against the Church of the Latter-day Saints over its policies. The 14 African-American players wanted to sport black armbands in a game against BYU to protest the church's priesthood temple ban, which ended in 1978. The church then policy prevented black males from holding the priesthood and black men and women from entering the temples. 51 years later, the former opponents are now on the same side. Today, as they come together to fight hunger, it's a step towards healing and moving forward.
The original Black 14 movement, 1969 to now, is highlighted some significant changes in the world in which we live, and we're in a time where people of goodwill need to come together, and we need to build commonality and to do good with our neighbors. Our fundamental principle is to love God and love our neighbors as ourselves, and we hope this is a way we can demonstrate our commitment to the community.
The Black 14, in their Mind, Body, and Soul initiative, saw a need to fight hunger. So they teamed up with the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints to deliver up to 180 tons of food to 9 cities. 9 tractor-trailer trucks, each loaded with 40,000 pounds of non-perishable items.
Yeah, this is a really extraordinary day. We have a truckload of food, 53-foot truckload of food, 40,000 pounds, that's being donated here to the Spirit of Faith. It is in conjunction with the Black 14 philanthropy, and it's through the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in a partnership, and it's going to go directly to those in need here in the Baltimore community, and we're so excited to be here. Tony McGee, of course, is part of the original Black 14 from University of Wyoming, and we've had such a wonderful time getting to know him and building bridges. We're doing great things together.
It's just an awesome opportunity to be able to join with our brothers and sisters to make an impact on the community. You know, we always talk about the power of unity, and we know that, but it's time for us to do what we know. There are a lot of people that know some things, but it's about doing what you know. And it's just exciting that we could team up with the Black 14 and the Jericho Ministries, and to be able to come together and do something together for the community so people's lives can be impacted. Because this time that we're living in, nobody ever experienced or know anything about the times that we're living in. And we're seeing that a lot of people need some help. And we want to be able to show them that we all can come together and work together and do something powerful.
We're just excited. I'm excited. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overthrilled at what God is doing for us and through us today. God said, if you love me, you'll feed my people. And he has given us this opportunity through Tony to feed the people. And we're just overwhelmed.
What an amazing story the Black 14 has. And we are excited that it was Tony McGee that contacted us here at our ministry. And he contacted Elder Jackson, Elder Clarence Jackson. And once he did, we got the ball rolling on how we could actually receive and then store and then prepare to give these things out for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. So we are excited to be able to be a help to the community. And we thank the Black 14 for recognizing that we are here and available to help the community.
And with the pandemic and everything that's going on, what a great opportunity to deliver these food items to needy families before Thanksgiving.
Exactly. The timing was key, and we give a lot of credit to Tony McGee and the Black 14 for the timing and arranging this throughout the country. Here in Baltimore, there's a lot of areas of food desert. There's a lot of folks in need. And so this is a very important location, a very important time.
I'm just so excited to be here to see the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints partnering with the Black 14 to provide essential food commodities for the community during this holiday season that's been one of the toughest yet.
Why is this so important, just the partnership with the Black 14?
Well, I think what started out as a rift between the church and their original members of the Black 14 has turned into a coming together or working together for a common good. And it's just the message that we need for our time right now.
So as I'm looking as the last crate has been removed,
yes.
Just tell me your feelings right now.
It's overwhelming to watch how this group has come together today to start this and to imagine how it's going to be distributed to the community and to those in the greatest need. So thank you, Black 14. Thank you, Tony McGee. And thank you to all those who made this happen today.
So you've been in conversation with some people today.
Yes.
What are some of their feelings and what have they been telling you today?
Yeah, I've heard a lot about unity. And they said unity starts with you and I. And I think that's a nice way to put it. And we're neighbors. And some of us didn't know each other. And so we're coming to know each other and build the common good and to really help on our community and to be with like-minded, like-hearted people. It's been a tremendous blessing today.
So as you move forward, how does the church and the Black 14 move forward with other things that they may do together?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate to have a relationship at a high level. Gifford Nielsen, of course, is a NFL quarterback, retired, and he's a leader in our church, and he is our primary point of contact with the Black 14 members, Mal and Tony and others, and we have plans for supporting them as they grow this philanthropy throughout the nation.
The once broken bridges are now being constructed with steel beams. Their coming together in this partnership to fight hunger is doing far more. It's each taking the first steps to mending some deep wounds.
Donna, that was an excellent piece. I tell you, it got me kind of teared up here, but when you met those people out there, and it's people that I met, and they were so willing to help. And one thing that he said, like-minded people and everything, wasn't about color or anything. It was who we could help. And all those people came in and helped unload those trucks, and you were there. Tell me a little bit more. Give me a little ambiance.
Yeah, Tony, it was just a good atmosphere to see groups coming together, but even more so, coming together of the Black 14 and the Church of the Latter-day Saints and those 51 years back where wounds are being healed slowly. What did you feel as far as, and how this all came about, of the Black 14 and the Latter-day Saints connecting? Because it's a lot to overcome with what you all went through. Is this the starting process in the healing between the two groups?
It's really past the starting. They came to us about 4 or 5 years ago with an offer, and I'm speaking of the Jesus Latter-day Saint, offered us some things that they wanted to do for us as the Black 14, but we felt like they didn't really owe us as much as the University of Wyoming owed us. So we didn't accept everything then. But Mel Hamilton, one of our leaders, have been involved with them. Matter of fact, his son is in the priesthood, and they've been working very closely. And this is not the only thing they've done. They've bought t-shirts. We got a slogan that we have: buy a t-shirt and feed a family. They bought tons and tons of t-shirts. The Battle Creek community situation in Battle Creek, Michigan, they bought shirts for everybody in the school system to wear Black 14 shirts and listen to our history. So what it has done is let me know that it's time to stop belly aching about what happened in 1969. Move forward, because you got some people now that want to right a wrong that they weren't involved with. And right now, I look at one thing, we call it justice served.
Yeah, Tony, that's the thing that I saw in talking to Michael Brady from the Church of the Latter-day Saints, and the excitement that he was feeling that day in what they were able to do in the partnership between you all. So in your initiative, the Black 14, what do you hope to go from here moving forward in what you all are going to do as a group now? Because like you said, it's time to, get past what happened and move forward in some initiatives that you can be involved in for the community as a whole.
Well, this initiative we're doing now in the pandemic, we all know about it. We know the result of what may happen afterwards. So we've taken that on. We're not just we're looking at getting computers, which we've done. We're looking at getting laundry cars. We're looking at helping the small businesses by letting them get food at a lesser price and feed it out to some of the students and stuff if they need it. We looked at people getting hairdressers, people getting haircuts. We're trying to do everything that we possibly can to help individuals because it's not just a certain amount. We call them underserved, but after what's going on with this pandemic, all of us will be unserved. So we need to serve and help people. And that's our initiative right now. Not the Black 14 that we were treated wrong. The Black 14 has stood up and we got off our knees and we started doing things. And we will continue to do it. And remember this slogan, fans, buy a shirt and feed a family. Look at our website, black14.net. We're going to make this happen. And we do not want this to be a one-time thing. We want this to be forever.
Well, the Church of the Latter-day Saints, Tony, is already saying, and you heard too, that they're looking to, other partnerships with you all in the coming years as you all work together to make a difference in the community. And I'm going to get my Black 14 t-shirt. I would have had it sporting today, but it's yet to come in. But Tony, the initiative that you all had with the Church of the Latter-day Saints and the food that you're going to be giving out in the Baltimore area, which is greatly needed. I thank you also for allowing me to have some of those non-perishable goods to help my foundation. And then all the other people like Daryl and Gary and all of those that probably will be getting some of these things too to help in some of their initiatives that they're working with in helping to fight hunger in the community. So thank you and the Black 14 for all of you, all the things that you all are doing are to make a difference in moving forward after those 51 years. It's about, like you said, moving forward. So it was a pleasure for me to be able to do the piece because I was excited about the history that was being made that day.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it's a great day to just hear this even being mentioned. And, when we get back on the show in a few minutes, we have some other guys. When I used to be with the Washington football team, these same guys you see right here talking on this show used to give money every Christmas for us to go out and help people. So they know about that and they're helping people now. Yes, we're going to talk a little more football, but this is the Geico Giving Show, our Thanksgiving show. And we're here to say thank you. And we'll be back in a moment. Well, you mentioned you end one segment with some happy news, and then you bring another segment in with some sad news. And that sad news is NFC East. That's all I'm going to say. I've said everything good about them I can say, guys. But if you start looking around the league, they've bought in more teams for the playoffs. And there are more teams struggling now. And we see a changing of the guard. There's going to be some young teams up there in the Super Bowl. But look around the league, guys, and tell me what teams you think could be domineering. Every week we say one or two of them, but they do not come up. But before you answer that question, G, what you have going on around Thanksgiving? What you got going on?
Giving thanks. I'll be spending it, of course, with my kids. So just making sure that they stay out of trouble because they're going to try to get into trouble. That's what they do. They're going to be roughhousing and everything. But I'm just thankful that I'm here for another Thanksgiving and my family's here for another Thanksgiving. And I'm able to be one of those individuals still working, quite honestly, during these crazy times. I'm fortunate that I'm still able to conduct business the way I've been able to conduct business, and things are good. I'm thankful.
Milk.
Yes, sir. Tony, ours is going to be just a little bit different. We'll spend some time with families, just in pastoral work. The churches that I work with across the state and certainly here locally, we continue to collect food, to put together Thanksgiving baskets, and we give those out to families within the community. Also, our personal family this year, we're going to have to delay our Thanksgiving until the first week of December because a few weeks ago, my daughter contracted COVID-19. And so
okay?
she's cleared all the protocols there and she's back home. And so life is good. So, I was a little disappointed because I got outvoted by the rest of the family that we had to delay Thanksgiving dinner. And so I thought it was worth the while. But anyway, what my joy has been, man, and I know it represents everybody on the show, is just being able to give to other people who may be less fortunate, or you don't even ask that question. You give. And so anyway, that's what we'll be doing this Thanksgiving.
And D Green, you know, I'd have got money from you every Christmas I could, and you do this all year round. You've been doing this for many, many years.
Yep.
Yeah, Tony, well, you know, we're very fortunate and blessed to have played a childhood game. We used to play touch on the street, tackle on the grass, and that game brought us to a big stage of millions and millions of viewers and Super Bowls and recognition and access and resources and all that we have. And when you keep it real, and you know, thank God that we have a revelation of really who really gives everything, and it's the Lord Jesus Christ. And so being able to live that life out has just been an incredible, it's crazy. It's just crazy. You know, I'm from a broken home, family, you know, all that junk, you know, that people, I live, you know, I don't know if you guys know, I lived in the same projects with George Floyd. I didn't know him, he's a younger kid, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just blessed. I've got 4 children, all married, and 12 grandkids to date. And so, dude, it's an honor to be alive today and to be where we are. And that, as the old church used to pray when they give, they would say, God, we thank you for those who gave, and we thank you for those who had not to give. They didn't have anything to give. And so I'm grateful that I can give something, and I'm grateful that I used to be a person that couldn't give. And so I have those perspectives, and so I give God the glory for it all.
And Don, I know we talked about we were gonna go around the league, but we got to close it out, and you tell me what some of your feelings at this point.
Yeah, you know, just growing up in West Virginia, and we always went there to spend Thanksgiving, but I'm just thankful for just to be here, because I've been through a lot of things, and I just thankful that I have the heart of God to be able to want to give and make a difference in people's lives. And this Thanksgiving, with the pandemic and everything, I'm sensitive as far as who I'm around, and not you know, endangering anybody. So I've been going, Tony, since September really busy. So, you know, I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. I told my family, I'm just going to drop by for a plate here, a plate there, and I'm coming back home and prop my feet up and just chill for the day.
And you know, that's the way you got to do it. You know, fans, you heard this from individuals, and I can just state for each and every one of them, this is the way their hearts are. And this is the way we want our hearts to be, because you know what? We're learning from this pandemic and everything that's going on, that Thanksgiving is every day, and you need to be thankful, and every day that God gives us. And I'm not bringing God and everything in to make anybody else that don't want to talk about it, but I just have to say what is good for me. And God's good for me, and he's been good for my family and these people that I work with. We're not just making up stories for you right now. We wanted you to feel how we feel. Other than Milton being a homer, we've been truthful about everything else. But at the same time, you guys think about it. Hold your family a little tighter and love them a little more. Absolutely. You may not be able to be with them right now, but one day it's not worth the rest of your life. Do whatever you can to be safe. And when we come back, we're going to take our life into our hands, because we're going to talk about it. The Washington team may make the playoffs. Now, that is a risk. We'll be back in a moment.
It took several months. We sat down as a committee to talk about exactly what we wanted to do. We wanted the entire community to be engaged. We wanted the members of the Black 14 to learn about who we are now. And then we also wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to strategize how we can best move forward to supporting our current student athletes and students. So it was a lot of planning, faculty, community organizations, various departments around the university. Everyone chipped in, and we had the finale on the field. Very excited.
I'm here with my fellow brothers, you know, Ron Hill, Griffin, Tony, and Guillermo. We all feel the same way. You know, we've been bitter or we've been mad, but right now, the Black 14, the way they were 50 years ago, is gone. The new ones are here now. From now on, we talk positive stuff about the Black 14, and these guys here will be a positive part of it.
Welcome back. And if you see me laughing, It's not because I heard anything funny. The only thing I heard is Daryl Green was saying another 100,000. We bringing him back next week. Now don't y'all believe that, because we thought he was saying $100, not 100,000. So we got to do a little negotiating. But he will be back with us next week. Hey guys, we got about 10 minutes, so we got to hit the thing. We got to go through and we got to look at the picks. Mike has been doing. We got to look at the league. We got to talk about everything that's coming up. So let's talk about very quickly, what does this Washington team need to do to win the next game? Very quick, give me a hot point. I only want one from each of you.
They have to understand what's in front of them. Like, they have to understand what's in front of them. And the playoffs is right in their grasp. They just have to win.
On one item. Go, Donna.
Basically just play within their game, Tony. I mean, just do what they need to do and not worry about anybody else.
Wait a minute, Milt. Did you see, and Gary, did y'all see how nervous Donna was? Because
I had to think, Tony.
She wasn't dogging the defense, so she didn't know what to say. She a little nervous there. If I'd have said Donna dogged the defense, she'd have been right on though.
Tony, I had to think hard of what they need to do.
Hey, Tony, I probably should have gone first, Tony, just to get her primed up. You know, just.
Right. Well, what do you think, Milt?
So I think this. I think Alice continue to manage the game. Defense has to show up. Shut down the run. The Washington football team will bring home a victory. Shut down the run, manage the game, count the dub. Simple as that.
About D Green?
You know, it'd be interesting if this was a game where the old rivalry was there. You know, nobody in the stands and no rivalry and a bad year. There's a moment here for the team to come out and do something that has meaning. And that would be to beat the Cowboys. Beat the Cowboys. If they could just hear the old songs from back in the day and say, whatever it takes, you know, their coach is talking about bringing back the old way. You know, he kind of talked about all of that. This would be a great time for that because they're sitting there at 0-0. Everybody is at 0-0. This is a moment. This is a real moment. And maybe some of that kind of historic, let's get the people going, get everybody excited. Maybe we do something special.
And you know, you hit that on the point. Right now is the moment. And I know a lot of people are really looking back and digressing and speaking of the games that they lost, but I think some of those games were character builders. They needed to know that we're not going for the win. The loss or the tie. We're going to win. Even though they lost those games, I like the attitude. The one thing I would like to see them do is run the ball better. Every team that we have been on, and you guys know that we wear Super Bowl rings, we ran the ball as well as pass. So I'd like to see a lot more of that. But then as you go around the league, what team can you say is dominant? 1 week is Tampa Bay, then they get dogged. 1 week is Seattle, and they say they only got the quarterback. The next week is somebody else. Green Bay is not the answer. So right now, to me, it looks like the NFC is wide open. Do anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, Tony, the NFC is wide open, but one team that we talk about each week is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have not lost any games yet. They're the dominant team. Baltimore seemed like they're sliding a little bit. Buffalo is another team that you've got to listen to, and Tennessee with a great running game. You've got to, look at them also. And Kansas City, which I told you last week that they would not lose. They came through again. They found a way. But let's throw in the Raiders. The Raiders look like they making some noise.
But Donna, you went all AFC.
Wait a minute. Hey, G,
I was waiting on an NFC team.
I told Tony that I'm thinking.
I'm talking to both of y'all. Do y'all see how when you do a great piece like Donna just did, she just took it over. She didn't even worry about the NFC anymore. She did what? Right to AFC.
Because it's up for
she didn't mention one NFC team.
I'm sorry, Daryl, but the NFC is up for grabs because it's just almost like you just don't know with you look at New Orleans, who's lost their quarterback and he'll be gone for 3 weeks. I mean, what will they look like when they come out of this? I mean, it's too shaky in the NFC East because I don't see solid teams from week to week.
Well, the positive thing about the NFC is that you got solid veteran quarterbacks in Wilson, you know, guys like that can really are over in Green Bay. These guys, they've been there before, and when it gets down to those times, those guys are going to show up. They're going to show up. So maybe they're sliding now, but you can't judge that. Green Bay is still Green Bay, and so you're going to have to go back to that and say, no, maybe not us, but these teams that know how to do this thing, they're going to be doing it in the playoffs.
Yeah, they will. They will, especially that Wilson.
If we get in, though, I'm okay with Alex. If we get in, I'm okay with Alex.
I think so too, G.
He's gonna need a consistent running game, but I'm okay with him too. Yeah, he's gonna need a running game, but I'm okay with it too.
If you have a great passing game, you'll get a consistent running game. But if you have a great running game, you'll get a consistent passing game. One or the other, because they have to concentrate on, you know, stopping one or the other. So, but
okay,
you gotta have one that's great.
But now let me ask you this, jumping over to the other side, which Donna has already did a very good job of analyzing when she wasn't asked to. But see, she did such a great piece. Hey, run the show, Donna, run the show.
Hey, Tony, can we use her minutes since she already used them? Can we use her?
Yeah, we need to go back and say what she said. Bad thing about it, she was hitting the points just right.
Yeah. She took a ball sitting on the tee and said, Pittsburgh. 10 wins. She just like, who are y'all talking about?
They still looking for the ball.
But you know what, guys?
It's right, though.
We're going to stop because you know what? Y'all still got to get the picks from Mike. But let me ask you this. The Pittsburgh team to me, and anybody can answer this, I'm afraid that when they get into a game and when the weather starts getting cold,
don't talk
and
about
they get a big running back, that they're going to have a little problem with that defense. They got a lot of quick people. They got a lot of people to run, but they haven't been pounded yet.
What I'll tell you about Small last week, Tony. You keep bringing up the size, saying, what Darryl Green, 20 years in the league.
B-I-G does not spell B-A-D. B-I-G does not spell B-A-D.
That's what
I don't know where you get that from that.
You got a Hall of Famer, and you got a posse leader. Tiny guys. So we're not going to take your start on that, Tony. We're going to
come on. You and Donna, y'all go sit in the corner.
But you know what? Somebody got to say it because y'all not saying it. I mean, I was the only one that had nerve enough to say that Milton was a homer.
It was not.
And Tony, they said the man, you need a timeout.
Please enjoy your holiday season. Love your fans, love yourself, and be careful because it's very important to us. And when we come back next week, we may be talking about a first place team. Well, okay, I did. I told a story. We'll be back next week anyway. And one thing I tell you, Darryl Green will be back with us next week. So, you know, we can't say goodbye.
$100,000, baby.
I can't say in the minute with that because it takes long in a minute to get it. But we'll see you next week. Enjoy the holidays.
Oh, man.